What is happening, everybody? MG here. MG Covers bringing you a brand new sports handicapping video. Title of this video: When to Increase Your Bet Size. Super excited to get into this video. We'll make it relatively short. If you follow me for the first time, greatly appreciate you subscribing to the channel. There is a ton of content on this channel, so you get a lot of value simply by subscribing and watching a lot of the videos. If you want to follow me on social media, MGCovers, cover spelled with a Z. There's a link in the description box. Click on that link. It will take you right to that account. You get a lot of value. I'll post sometimes leans or things I see in sports betting that may help you with your wagers. So you get a lot of value simply by following me on Instagram. All right, so let's dive into this when to increase your bet size. And let me go ahead and say this too. There's something called the Kelly criterion. It's an actual formula to calculate when to do that. This is very similar to that, but more from a macro approach. And I've always run my business like a business, my sports betting, my handicapping like a business. And when we go through this, you'll see this. So for the most part, when I wager, I'm wagering. Let me pull up this screen here. Okay, we're going to look at a specific day. This was 2 days ago, December the 10th. So for the most part, because I now am playing a lot of volume, I'm generally wagering 1/10 unit. So for me, that's $100. A full unit for me would be 1,000. So for the most part, if I'm averaging some days upwards of like 10 games a day, so wagering 1/10 unit, that would be a total of 1,000. So in this particular case, if you scroll down here, if we look at our first couple wagers, this is from NFL. So this was Sunday. We wagered Chicago plus 140, Indy plus 140, Houston -3, and then another NHL match game at 221. So those were all 1/10 units. So at this point, we had $400 wagered. And you see the next wager was Edmonton half unit, which would be 500. So that's significantly more. So if for example, so on that particular day, let's just say that's all we wagered. So let's say we win those first four wagers. If we lose that Edmonton wager, that would have basically wiped out all of our profit. So this is the point I want to make. When you do increase your bet size, you have to make sure that you have tremendous amount of value statistically, which is objective handicapping, and you have to have several subjective angles in your favor. Okay. So you can't just arbitrarily increase it or chase wagers or chase loss. A lot of times you hear that term. What that means is if you're losing, you lose 200 on the next wager, you wager 300. That's not what this is. You've basically calculated that you have a greater chance of winning this wager than normal and a less likely chance of losing than normal. So in order to do that, let me show you the process. Okay, so here are my power rankings for that day, 12/10, and we're looking at Edmonton, New Jersey, and you'll see my line was Edmonton -155. That is the highest line that I give for NHL for my line. So therefore, Edmonton was the number one team in NHL via my power rankings on Sunday. So there's one strong statistical, well, basically the objective part of handicapping. They were the number one team in my power ranking. So we're wagering on the number one team in our power ranking. So there's a very high chance that they're probably going to win this game. And you can see there New Jersey was plus 103. So not a bad team via the power rankings. Plus 103 is just a little bit less than 50%. Okay. But again, going back to the model itself, which is the objective side, you need to have value -155. Now, we would not play this on the regular money line. I'm not sure what it was. I could go back and research that, but it was probably way up there, maybe like -155, -160 or so. But if we played it on the three-way line, and basically what the three-way line, if you're new, they have to win in regulation. So if this game goes to overtime, we're going to lose our wager. All right. So we have tremendous amount of value on the objective side. Now, the subjective side are things like line movement, home away advantage, injuries, things that are not associated with your stat model. And the strongest subjective angle in NHL is teams on the road playing their third game in 4 days on a back-to-back. It is very, very rare for those teams to win. So again, we have we're playing the best team via my model, and we have the strongest subjective angle in our favor. And I'm not going to show line movement, but we had line movement in our favor as well. So we had line movement. Now we have this subjective angle, and you can see here if you scroll down, look at December the 7th. They played at Seattle. They were off on the 8th. They played at Calgary, then turned around, played again Edmonton, even though that's not far distance. What's that, like 3-4 hours? I'm sure I don't know if they drove or took a flight. I'm guessing maybe a bus. But in any event, it is what it is. Teams play in 3 games in 4 days on a back-to-back all away. It's very rare for those teams to win. So just to review, when to increase your bet size, you want to have a strong statistical advantage via your model and several subjective angles in your favor as well. So in this case, we have value via the model. We have the strongest subjective angle in our favor, which is the 3 games in 4 days. And we have line movement in our favor as well. And one other angle, home favorites in NHL win 60% of the time. So we have a strong statistical property. Now, there's no guarantees in this business, right? And statistically speaking, that's probably realistically what they had, about a 60% chance of winning overall when you factor everything in. So again, going back to the wager itself, another thing that you really have to do in this business, you have to say, hey, is this a good wager? And what I mean by that is, if this wager lost, would I still feel good about the wager? Would I still be able to say to myself, hey, that was a good wager? And I did, because I knew we had several NFL games we were going to play behind this. So even if we lost this wager, we still could potentially have a winning day. And we'll go to the results. To show you that, and we actually did. So Edmonton did win. We won that one. We lost several of those at the front end. You can see there, Indy lost, Houston and Columbus lost, but we did win Chicago at plus 140. And the games after that we played, in addition to Edmonton, was Minnesota was a push. We won Buffalo at plus 110, won Denver at plus 144 for a total net of $581 for the day, which is a great day, 48% ROI. Now, this is important to note. Had we lost the Edmonton match, we still would have had a winning day. $81, almost 1/10 unit gain, which is really good. So again, even if that would have lost, we still would have had a winning day. So again, when you're going to increase your bet size, if you want to Google Kelly criterion, you can do that. There's an actual formula that you can calculate, or you can approach it more from like the macro, which I did. We make sure we have advantage via the model and several strong subjective angles in our favor. And that's it. Now, if you want access to my power rankings, you see here for NHL, we have a ton of sports going on right now. We have bowl games for college football, getting ready to post those today. NFL power rankings, NHL power rankings, NBA power rankings, soccer power rankings, college basketball power rankings. So you get a ton of value for $50 a month. You also get access to all my coaching videos. If you want access to everything I just mentioned, in addition to all my plays, $100 a month. The best value is join for an entire year. It's like getting an associate's degree in sports betting. You'll save $600 by paying every month, and you just pay $500 and you get access to everything on the site for an entire year. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Good luck. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.